Hey everyone. So today what I decided to do was a tutorial for a hooded eye. So, um, hooded eye is where the skin lays on top of your lash line. So, but I have seen hooded eyes where the hood starts maybe here, and so this part of the hood lays here, and this is all open. For me, my hood starts in this corner and goes out to this corner. So what I need to try to do is, I also have small eyes, so I have really no lid space whatsoever. So I try to make my eyes look more open and elongated. So what I'm going to do is start out by using, my eye is primed. I use the Essence I Heart Stage eye primer. It's pretty good. And then what I'm going to do is take this color out of the chocolate bar palette and apply this all over my eye. Now the reason why I do this is because the primer is sticky. So I just feel like if I went right in with my transition color, it would come out choppy. I just feel it blends better with a shadow already put down. So I'm gonna just go all over my eye. And by the way, these shadows are so nice. I've never had two-faced shadows. So I'm going in my inner corner. Now, if I were to just keep it this way, you would then see my hood would be very apparent because I applied a light color. But this is, for me, is just for blending purposes. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with my MAC 217 and apply this as my transition color. Okay, tap it off. Now, if I were to go right into my real crease, which is right here, and apply my color, let me just make sure I'm not looking like a crackhead. You don't see anything. So that's why us hoodies have to start here. Now you're starting to see. And I bring it all the way over because my hood goes that far, so I want to try to make that look receded as well. So I blend back and forth, and I pull out a little bit. You know, Goss is always talking about pulling out. So by pulling out, for me, helps to elongate my eye. So I make sure that's well blended. I'm going to go on my lid with this color as well. Because it's like, for me, I can't really do a ton of stuff on my lid. Because you don't see it. I mean, unless I'm like this. But if I'm looking straight ahead of you having a conversation, you can't see it. So the goal here is to make this hood, I'm going back in, look less apparent. Okay. So now, when I look, it doesn't look as hooded. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to go in with a darker color. I actually put this on my crease and slightly above, just to add a little more dimension, same brush, to my eye. So I'm going to go into my real crease, start there. I'm trying to use my mirror and the camera. So this just adds a little something extra. I go all the way in. And the key to it, with any kind of eye you have, is for it to look blended. There's nothing worse when you can see shadows that aren't blended. So now, I'm just going to make sure that's well blended. I'm going to go in with my Sigma E35 and just blend. Okay. Now that same light color in this palette, I'm going to go in and use that as a brow bone highlight. And then I'm going to go back in with my 217 to make sure everything is blended seamlessly. If you hear me sniffling, it's because my allergies are horrible. Okay, so now the next thing I'm going to do is use an eyeliner. This is the Tarte Skinny Smolder Eyes in Sunstone Bronze. Very pretty. It has a slight shimmer. It's a brown. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tightline my upper waterline. But a little trick that helps for me is I go in and go along my lash line and my waterline to dry my inner rims off. And one of the main reasons why I do that is because with my allergies being so bad, my eyes water. So it's kind of hard to put something in your waterline and your eyes are watering. So that's just a little trick that I do that helps. So now you're going to just, I try to go as close to my lash line as possible. You know, you take your time with this because you blink and it's all over the place. So instead of putting this on my lid, it's in my waterline. Now, I do not line my lower waterline with a dark color because for me, it makes my eyes appear beady and even smaller. Now, to me, this just affects this lash line. It does not make my eyes look any smaller. So now I'm going to go back in because even when something's waterproof, sometimes it will still transfer to this line. What I'm going to put in that waterline is the Scandalize from Rimmel in Nude. So I'm going to put this because this is going to help open the eye up. So I will tell you that 99.9% of the time, this is what goes. Now my eye looks more open. Okay. And that really helps, I feel, with the Q-tip because the waterline is then dry. So then you're applying the liner to a dry waterline. So the next thing I'm going to do is curl my lashes. Told you this was pretty simple. You know, it's nothing fancy. I'm using the Shiseido eyelash curler. And you can see now that I've curled my lashes, my eyes look a little more alive. And can we talk about eyelash curlers? I mean, there was an eyelash curler that I loved that was in Walgreens. And it was like cheap. It was like $5 or $6. And they changed it. I mean, I know for some people eyelash curlers don't mean anything, but my eyelashes stick straight out. They're like Asian eyelashes. So I need my lashes to be curled as much as possible. And the Shiseido, it's pretty good. I get this from Sephora. So now what I'm going to do is use the Baby Doll by Yves Saint Laurent. And it's the brush. It's a rubberized brush. I really I really like the rubberized brushes, I think, better than a traditional mascara brush. So now you tilt your head back and you're going to go in from the lash line. Try not to get it on your hair. I just feel, I hated to love this mascara, I really did, because it is $30, but I just feel like, can you see the difference? I'm a drugstore mascara girl, I'm not a high-end, but I seen it reviewed, and I mean, this is one coat of this stuff. Just blows my mind. Okay, another thing that I don't do as I've gotten older is I do not put mascara on my lower lashes. My lower lashes are long, and when I add mascara to them, they're even longer, and it creates more of a shadow under my eye. Not a good shadow. So it took me a while to get used to not putting any mascara here. Sometimes I will put a little shadow under the eye to add definition if that's what I'm looking for. Today I'm not looking for that. I'm just looking kind of for a simple eye. Nothing fancy. Okay. So I want to wait for that to dry. And I'm going to put on a half lash. Now, false lashes, everybody makes it look so simple. I watch people and I'm like, they're curling their lashes and applying lashes, and for me, a full lash, then I can't curl my lashes. I just can't get the lashes to get behind my lashes curled. Then, also, I've noticed, because my eyes are small, the one thing that's nice is a full lash will hide the hood. But because my eyes are small, I feel like it overwhelms, a full lash overwhelms my eye, where the half lash just adds a little something and brings the eye out a little more, and it's so much easier to apply. So I am using Ardell 318. I usually use the 301s, but these are kind of, I like that. The 301s are just a little simpler than this. So now I take a tweezer and I take it off. If you never applied false lashes, I think this is a good place to start, because if I can get it off, it's a good place to start because half lashes aren't as intimidating as a full lash. So now what I do is, once I get it off, I put it on my finger. I wrap it on my finger just to give it a little bend. Yeah, I put false lashes on. I like the Demi Wispies. I wish they were just a little shorter. I remember Lori over 40. They look nice. I mean, maybe it's just because we're not used to them. Hers looked really nice on her, but she felt weird with them. And I totally can relate to that. So, I use lash glue. I usually use the Duo. I have the dark tone, the white, and it says it dries clear. It really doesn't dry clear, in my opinion. It dries, you can see something there. Now, if you remember, I don't have any liner. that will sometimes help to hide the little band, especially if you're using a full lash. So now that I had this sitting for a few seconds, I am going to now take the glue. The whole goal and key here is to put enough glue at both ends of the lash. Because that's the area where it likes to come up. So I always make sure that both little ends have just a little extra. Okay. All right. So now the other key here is to give it a little time to dry. You don't want to go right in, because if you go right in, it's going to slide all over the place. So let me tell you what's on the rest of my face as we're waiting for this to dry. I have the Makeup Forever foundation on. Then for bronzer, I have Makeup Forever bronzer in the color 20, which I really enjoy. I hauled that the other day. As you can see on my eyes, I have the chocolate bar palette on. Highlighter, I have the It Cosmetics, the new highlighter, and Bye Bye Under Eye. I'm not crazy about the Bye Bye Under Eye. I feel it's like too thick and too shiny. But the highlighter end of it, I really enjoy. It reminds me of MAC Prep and Prime. On my lips, I have a Milani lip pencil, I think in Spice, which I really like. And I think some like nude gloss over that. That's another thing I really like as you get older, to line the whole lip with a lip pencil and then just put a gloss. I have lipsticks. I do wear lipstick, but I feel like that the liner the lip liner stays on better. It doesn't go all over the lips. So now, what I do, which I know people don't think you should do this, I will curl my lashes again, just at the base. I've never had an issue with my lashes, pulling my lashes out, coming out. Okay, so now it's time. We're going to go right down. This is just so much easier, I'm telling you. If you want to try false lashes out and you see, because let me tell you something, 90% of the time I look like a crackhead when I do a full strip. And you still have time to, like, that's the thing, you still have time to manipulate them. And then I just go and make sure that they are adhered to my skin. And so now, as you can see, my eye looks lifted. It doesn't look as hooded. Now, what I can do, and what I'd like to do, is just go back in a little to just, I'm going to go back in with the transition color again to just darken that up just a little bit. But you see how that half a lash just adds something, and it doesn't look super fake, and it's so much easier to apply. I'm telling you, me doing a full lash, you'd probably want to see it on camera. Total crackhead. And then, you know, you let it dry, and you know, it looks, to me, it looks like, I don't know if people would say, do you have false lashes on? But it just adds a little something. It's not overly long, as you can see. And that's what I think the problem with strip lashes is, that it's overly long. Well, this was a way too long of a video, because I wouldn't be quiet. So I hope maybe you learned a tip or a trick, and you know, if you have any questions or comments, just leave them below. And hopefully you were able to see what I did. And if you have any comments, put them down below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks so much for watching and have a great day. Bye-bye.